our chat in Teams. I will take a break after chapters and try to answer. You can ask anything what you want. All questions are normal. No dummy questions here. I try to answer to all questions. Okay, today we will continue to learn JavaScript basics. And we start from deep dive an object. And as I talked on previous lecture, all JavaScript types are split in two big parts: is primitives and objects. Differences between these types is the primitives are moved from one variable to next variable as a value. For example, if I create a variable a, and then I create variable b and put variable a into b, and then I add 1 to variable b, yeah, I add 1 to variable b and put again to variable b. Inside b, I get the 2. But if I run variable a, I see 1 inside variable a, because when I assign variable a to b, 1 is copied and put it to b as value. And it's related to all primitive values like strings, numbers, boolean, null, and undefined. But another situation with objects. If I create object and put this object to another variable, t to y, and I create some property and put some value to this property in variable y, I can see that y and t variable is the same, because when we create object using object literals, curly braces, in this moment, objects are created in memory. Some area in memory are allocated for this object, and JavaScript return reference some special link to this memory area to variable t. And when we operate with this variable t, we always put this reference to another variable or another code. And this is main difference. And let's remember from previous lecture, then JavaScript provide for us some special functions that help us to create object. For example, object create, and another way is object class. But easiest way is to use curly braces. It's the simplest way to create an object. But what is the object? What is it? Object in simple words is k value pairs. For example, this object do not contains any k value pairs, and this is empty object. But I can put some line breaks and write some k and value. After comma, you can put any k pair rails as you want. Until memory, until you fully use all memory inside your machine. Okay, K and value can be of any types of data, but mostly K is a string. I think you notice that I do not put any string brackets, any apostrophe marks. It's okay if K of your object is a simple string. Simple, I mean that the string do not contains any white spaces. But if you want to write some complex string with white spaces, you need to put some apostrophe marks. For example, like this. Okay. I use Chrome DevTools console for examples, and when I write some code here, Chrome DevTools predict some result, and it help to us to understand if this script is correct or not. If I write some unexpected, you will see that no result under my script. Let's continue with object. As I say, you can use any type of data to use as property name. Yeah, this key also call it as property, and this is property name, and this is property value from right side over the column. Yeah, all key pairs are splitted by commas. It's important. Okay. I can press enter for now, and Chrome DevTools evaluates this script, this my little statement of JavaScript, and return result of this operation. Result of using object literal is the created object. But very important, in this situation, you lost the object forever because we do not save reference to this object anywhere. And if some data do not have any reference to it, it will be deleted via garbage collector automatically. To use this object, we need to save this object to some variable. For example, save it to p variable. I press enter, and the result is undefined. It's okay, because the statement consists from two JavaScript expressions. First of all, we create an object via object literal, and then we assign this created object to this variable. Result of this assignment is undefined. It's okay. But after that, I can write p and see my object, because now it's stored in p variable. Okay, we discussed about how to create some values inside object, and now we should discuss how we can get these values. To do this, we have two ways. First of all, we can write dot symbol, and after dot, we can write any of property names, for example, key. And we will get our value that's stored under the key property name. It works, dot operator works only for simple strings without white spaces and only for strings. If we have some complex data, like complex data, for example, 5, we will get the error. To use 5, we need to put it in square braces. And same result with dot. but square braces allow us to use some extended list of types as key of object. For example, I put 5 as number and return 6 because 6 is a value inside our object and is a key 5. And same story with string with spaces. I can do it like this and get my 5. Okay. Another way how we can work with object is using variables. For example, I create variable u and put 90 to it. Yeah, this clear cancel button just clear cancel output, but all created variables are still in memory. I create variable u, and I can now call my p object again, and you can see result here. Okay. Also, using dot and square braces, you can create something, some properties in object. For example, let's create key5 property and put value 5 to it. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I forgot an apostrophe. Okay. When I call p object again, extend it, and I can see my k and value already here. Okay. Also, I can use square braces with my newly created variable. I can inside p object I create a property with name 19 because I put a variable with 19 here and save hello string to it. Okay, let's call our object again and see 90 key and hello value. Okay. You also can use this approach when you create an object via object literal in the same way. You see that the value of the u variable automatically put it inside square braces. Okay. Do you have any questions? Okay. If you, okay, I see one question. So there are no difference between key value and key value. Yeah, if we talk about watermarks, yeah, no difference here. But very important, if you create object A with key value and object B with key value, it will be two different objects. It's very important part of JavaScript because when you use curly braces, it's not an object, it's object literal. It's your way how you ask JavaScript to create an object. And in these two cases, you create two different objects. If you don't understand, and let's create 100% same object. Let's copy and paste. And also in this situation, objects are not the same because in all of these cases, it will be new object. But yes, if we talk about watermarks, no difference between here and here. It's both okay. How we can delete the key? Okay, also interesting question. Yeah, we have, as I remember, we have special word delete, and we can put, for example, what we have in object P. Okay, in object P we have key value pair. Let's try to delete key. Okay, let's open P. And you can see now key with name key now is absent in object. Okay, also you can delete any of, let's test with key 5 property. Key 5. Also, you can delete property assign undefined to it. Undefined. Because if you try to, let's see, key 5 undefined, you can say to me that I don't delete this key, but it's very important that if you try to get some unexpected value from object, we always get the undefined. Undefined means that this property does not exist at all. And this okay if you want to delete some property to assign undefined to it. It's also okay. Oh, so all this like classes in C++, right? I don't agree with that because JavaScript is a multi-paradigmal language, and it's allow you to write simple scripts that when we run it line by line, this allow you to create classes and operate it like in object-oriented programming. And also you can write functional programming style, and objects is not in JavaScript is not like an object in C#. It's not correct. In JavaScript, if you have some OP background, you should know that objects, then C++ style objects in JavaScript call it instances. When you create a class, and then we create an object like in C++ object from this class is in JavaScript called instance. It's kind of similar, am I right? Yeah, maybe. Let's continue. Okay, we already discussed it. Yeah, it's a good slide to you, Roman, because it's a slide described about special key new. This special key help us to use some OP style in JavaScript, and it will be look like C, C++, C# and Java. In this example, we create a function, but for now, this function is not a regular function. This is like C++ class, and we can use word new to run this class and create some instance of this class. we will not dive to this theme for now. I know you will have a special lecture. How does it work? For now, we skip this and it's out of scope. But yeah, in this situation, we use some abstract class car to create some special car with brand and model. The result is a JavaScript object here. Yeah, also, as I talk to you right now, you can put any data types as key in value, and you also put object in object, and object in object, and object in object, and as much as we want. Yeah, and we use some combinations of dots and square brackets. We put it one by one and extract value for it in this example and in this too. I think you understand it. Okay, discuss it. Okay, already discussed. Okay, it's about reference, already discussed. Yeah, object methods. You can put as value of some key, for example, function. It's okay. And in this situation, this function has special name. It's called as method, like in object-oriented languages. Okay, and in JavaScript we have another special word. Is this? This is a context, and context is in simple words, this is like a special area where the function is executed. In this example, this will be referenced to this object because this function runs inside this object. And this special word help us to get access to data inside object. It's very useful. Behavior of this is not so simple, and we'll learn it a little bit later. Okay, to continue our lecture, we need to paste with functions. A little bit about functions. We also have several ways how we can define our function. And what is function? Function is a little piece of code that can be run via special name. In this example, function created with a special word function. Special word function, white space, then function name, braces. Inside braces, we can define parameters of function, then square braces and body of function. When we write function name and braces, this function will be called. Let's try it. Write special word, write function name, any what you want, but only strings. Braces for parameters. For now, skip parameters. square braces, and for example, I write alert. Okay, when I press enter, nothing happens. This function just declared, and it's presented in system with name hello. To run this function, I need to write hello and put braces and give some parameters to function if needed. For now, no need to push parameters. I press enter and we see alert message. Okay, what about parameters? Let's create another function hello2 and write text. I write text and in simple words, I say JavaScript what I want to use it inside this function. And when I will run this function, I need to pass some parameters to this variable. And then I can use this text as argument on alert. Now let's try to call it. I call this function, and inside braces I put some data, then will be assigned to text variable inside function, and will be used as alert title. Let's enter test text. Correct, because JavaScript loosely typed language, and when I create function, I do not declare some type that will be used. It's okay to ignore parameters. For example, I can run hello2 function without parameters. And when I do not pass parameters, undefined will be used, because undefined means that no values provided at all. And it's okay for JavaScript, but it's very confusing for people who write on some C++, C#, Java languages, because in these languages, programmer need to strongly use types of variables. And if you create variable with string type, you cannot put number in it. But in JavaScript, it's okay. I can run hello with 5, and it's okay. Okay, it's called as function declaration. It's called as function declaration, but we have some another way how to create a function. For example, I create a variable and put function on it. And this is called as function expression. We use function as part of statement, and this part is called as expression in JavaScript. We create function and put it in variable m. And it's the same as we create function m, but just different name. This is called function expression. Also work. Okay. In latest releases of JavaScript, as I remember from 2015, we have another way to create a function. call it as arrow function. Why is arrow function? Because it's used special symbol, call it arrow, special arrow, and same sense like in regular function, parameters in brackets, and body of function in curly braces. This type of function you can use only like a function expression. To create it, you need to sum variable. You can call it as a regular function with just with braces. Okay. These two types of functions, arrow functions and regular functions, have some difference how they work with context with this keyword, but for now we skip it. Also, arrow functions is much more useful. Less text, less bugs. Okay, we talk a little bit about functions because now we go to arrays, and we need to understand functions to work with arrays. What about arrays? Arrays under the hood of JavaScript is a special type of JavaScript object. Arrays is the list of some values. Like in with object, we have some ways how we can create arrays. We can use array class from JavaScript, or we can use array literal square brace. You can put any value, any type of value inside these braces. And if you want append another value inside array, you can put comma, and after comma, you write something next. You can put inside array what you want: numbers, strings, functions, objects, and other arrays. It's also okay. As I say, under the hood, arrays in JavaScript, it's regular objects. When I expand my array, I can see key pair values, but in arrays, key is the index of element, and value is the element itself. Another property that we can find in array, it's length. And length is the length of all of our arrays. But you should understand, if we create object in same way, use some indexes, values, and length keyword, length key, it's not to be an array. Array is a special object. And if you create object like this, sorry. Okay, it's look like array, but it's not array. That object call it is array-like object. Because it's look like an object, but it's not. It looks like an array, but it's not array. What's difference? Arrays have access to special array functions. For example, I put dot, and you can see a lot of special properties inside array that they can use. But if you write object, yeah, we also see some properties, but it's object properties, not an array properties. You should ask me. Why if I expand my array, I can see only two properties, but when I put dot, I see a lot of properties. It's a very interesting question because all objects in JavaScript have special secret property proto. Proto is the link to father of this object. And when we expand this proto property, we see all of these special array functions. How does it work? It's pretty simple. When you call some property from object, firstly, this property looks inside object itself. But if no success with it, JavaScript go to proto and try to find this property inside parent object. About proto and how to work with it, you should hear on some next lectures. For now, we talk about arrays. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, when you create some, when you create some array and put it into variable, into constant fruits, you can work with it like with object. For example, you can use dots and square braces to get properties from array fruits. I can write dot and get the length property, and it return count of the quantity of elements inside my array. And for example, I write square braces and write index of element, for example, 1, and get value of first element. Count starting from 0. Very important. Okay. Also, as I say, you can put array inside array, inside array, inside array, as much as you want. And if you put, if you have two layers, array and array, this is called as matrix, like in mathematics. And you can use several square braces, one by one, to get some value from this matrix. Okay, a little bit about special special array functions that do not present it in regular object. For example, push add items to array at the end, pop extract an item from the end, shift extract items from beginning, and shift add item to beginning. What this function have some strange name, shift and unshift, and what's the pop and push work with end of the array. It's related to organization array in the memory of your computer, because it's very simple to add something and put something to the end of the array. You just get value and put it without any operation with rest part of the array. But if you want to add something in the first position, you need to move, you need to shift your array. You need to move each element from one position plus one position. And now let's try something. Let's experiment. Let's experiment with our fruits array. Let's push something in our array. Let's push banana inside our array. Result of this operation is index of new element. It may be useful in your code, but for now, no matter what's the result of operation. Okay, let's see our fruits array, and you can see 4 elements here. Let's pop element and it return banana. We can see array again and no and only 3 elements here. And same situation with shift apple. We see only 2 elements in the array. Okay. I think, I hope you understand this. If you have questions, please write in chat. Okay, no questions. Okay. What if we have several arrays? What we can do is that inside array, we have also special function called concat that allow us to append one array to second array. And in last releases, we have special operator spread that allow us to extract values from array and put it to another array. Let's I explain what happening in step 3. In last example, we create new array with object literal with this square brackets. This is new array created. After that, we spread a array. We get the value from this array and put it to our new array. And after comma, we do same with B array. We extract values and put it in new array. As a result, we see all values in our new array. Yeah, another special function is slice. Slice, like a Swiss Army knife. It's very funny, but yeah, it's right because with this function you you can do anything with array, delete elements, put elements, split arrays to parts, and something else. Splice obtains 3 arguments. First argument, and from what index splice should apply changes, and second parameter is how much elements should process. On this point, I want to show you some trick. It's not a trick, this is a right way. If you see some new function for you, you can get this function. Go to Google, write MDN, and go directly to Mozilla Developer Network on China. No, it's okay. How to switch on English? Yeah, you in English. Nice. Yeah, and read everything about this function. It's right way because you cannot learn every function in JavaScript, and it's okay to use some documents. On left side, you see all set of pages in this portal, and here you see all of array prototype functions. Please use it if you want to understand what happened. Okay. On first example, splice from index 1, delete 1 element, and delete study JavaScript, study word from here. On example 2, from index 2, splice remove everything. But another you should know about this splice function, that's all of this array function split it into parts, and it's related to mutation. Some of this function mutates the initial array, this change array that you pass to this function, and some of them copy array, modify it, and return new array. And in this situation, and in our last examples, all of these functions are mutatable. It's mutate our array. And as you can see here, we execute shift function, and where we call fruits, no apple value in fruits. Original array are changed. But we have, okay, let's continue with splice. Third parameter of the splice is what value we should paste. And from second element, we delete 0 elements and put 2 values. And that's result. But for splice, we have some alternative function that do not mutate original array. So I remember it calls slice, not splice, slice. If I slice something from end of the fruits array, for example, I slice from first element, I can see palm, only array with 1 value. But if I see original array, you can see that array isn't changed. And slice is the same function as splice, but it's not mutate array. Okay, some examples. From 0 element, we delete 3 elements and put these values. Yeah, okay, that's nice. Yeah, some special functions that can help us to operate with arrays. This function find. Let's start with another function. Let's start from a function includes. This function returns as Boolean value true or false is the values that you put to includes function are included in array. It's a very simple function. As you can see, pets, include cats, result true. And same function, but with different sense. Index of that allow us get the index of find elements. Elements start processing from left to right, and it will be index of first element with this value. It's 1 here. Okay. As alternative of index of function, we have another function, last index of. This function works the same as index of, but start working from end of the array. Okay, and another interesting function is the reverse. Yeah, reverse. This function just move items from start to end, and you get the mirror reflection of original array. This is a simple function, but next we see some more complex function. For example, like in presentation, function find. Why it's more complex? Because find gets a special function inside it, call it as callback. This function allows us to manually choose what value is correct. And function find returns the element when u function will return true. This function inside find will be applied to each element in the array. For example, when we run function find, this function gets the error, gets the array, get first value on 0 position. We start counting elements from 0. Put it to our function and execute it. Inside our function, we check the length, and if length is equal to 5, we return true. Apple string contains 5 letters, and our function return true, and function find return apple to selected fruit. And here result. Sorry. And here result. And in documentation, you can find a lot of functions that get the callback function and return result. Here is a find function. Yeah, parameters. Callback function to be executed on each value in the array. In this example, find used with arrow function. It's okay, you are welcome with arrow function. Okay. Do we have any question with find function? Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's continue. Find index is same function as a find, but it's return not the value, but it's return index of the finded value. Same sense. Okay. Another function, another method of array is a filter. Filter is very simple. It's help us to filter array and exclude some values from it. And also, like a find function, filter want to get the special callback and apply this callback to all of the elements inside the array. When we execute filter, we get, first of all, one goal in item, one less than 10, function return undefined, because if function do not have return, it returns undefined. If returns undefined, filter exclude this value from array. Next, on next step, filter gets 9, put it into the callback, 9 less than 10, function return undefined, 9 excluded from array, and on two last of steps, 100 and 5,000 go to our function, and our function return true, and as a result, we get array of two elements, 100 and 5,000. Okay. Another function that we can find in documentation is the for each. For each is iterator. For each can apply some functionality for each element in the array. For example, let's see this. We put an array callback, then that takes the element and put it inside console. When we run this code inside console, we see three lines with our elements. Filter, for each, find, all of this function do not mutate array. If we return to previous example and paste this example into our console, let's see filtered numbers. This is only two elements from arrays at more than 10. But if we call original numbers array, you can see all of elements still here, because filter create new array. And also for each. Very similar to for each function is map, but this function not just apply some functionality to each element. This function calculate each element and return new array with new elements. Do we have an example? Yeah, correct. Also, map function wants to get the callback and apply this callback for all elements. In this case, callback gets the element and return length of this element. As a result, we get the array of element lengths. Map and filter is commonly used functions, and I hope you understand it. Okay. Some another function, split join, we talk about it a little bit later. Okay, reverse, we already talked about it. Yeah, split and join. One interesting point about JavaScript that strings, it's also arrays. It's array of characters, and string also have access to all of these functions, all of array functions. And for example, you can write dot, write split. Oops. Test. Let's write something. And split function allow us to convert string to array, and split string with special rule. Inside parameters and split, you can put some character, and string will be split with this character. For example, let's split it by E symbol. I put E, and you see two parts of this string, to T and ST. Okay, and another function like mirror reflection is join. We can also join resulting array, also with E, and return back our string. Or for example, we can split some string by comma and concat it with some dash. For example, like this. Yeah. And this cause will return back to strings. A little bit more about strings. As on previous lecture, I said to you that we have some ways to create strings. This is apostrophe mark, double quotes. Today I prepare a special cheat sheet with name of the symbols. And as I say, strings under the hood is an array of characters, and we can get length of the string with length property. We can concatenate string with other strings, and no matter what we use for string brackets. And another important symbol is oblique apostrophe, is a special apostrophe that come to language in 2015 with ECMAScript 6. It's called, this construction call it is template literals. And template literals allow us to use line breaks and use variables. You can write $sign and curly braces and put variables inside these braces. Okay. Do we have questions? Okay, let's continue. Yeah, last theme for today is about loops. Loops is a special construction in JavaScript and in many of languages that you can see that allow us to write some block of code several times. Inside JavaScript, we have several types of loops: while, do while, for of. And let's talk about it. While cycle. To write while cycle, we need to write special word while. In regular braces, write expression. If the expression return true, we can continue executing. If this expression return false, loop was closed, and we continue next part of code after the end of the loop. In curly braces, we put a body of our loop, and in this example, we put to cancel value and index from our array until our e variable are less than length of our array. We have special type of while loop. This is while true cycle. As you understand, this is infinity loop, and it will be executed forever until we call special words. For example, break. Break keyword stop execution of loop and continue code after the end of the loop. Okay, and another special word is continue. Continue allow us to skip one iteration of loop. In this case, JavaScript skip all code inside loop, return back, and start next iteration from start. You can find another type of while function of while loop is do while. What's difference? Difference very simple. When we try to run while cycle, first of all we check expression in regular braces. But do while cycle firstly runs the one iteration and only then check expression in while regular braces. Do while function 100% run code one time. Okay, for loop. For, it's a little bit more complicated loop, and it's used in many languages. And to run this cycle over our code, we need to set up it. First of all, we need to put some variable that will be counter of our cycle. On next step, we put expression that define should we continue execution of our loop or we should skip the loop. And after semicolon, we put some expression that modify our counter. Because if we left counter as is, we will get the infinity loop. No sense with it. And in this example, we create variable e with 0 initial value, and until e less than length of the created array, we run this loop, and after each step, we perform this operation. this operation is equal to this, and call it as increment. Add 1 on each step. But in JavaScript, we have some difference between this notation and this notation. In this case, we add 1 and calculate something with variable e. But on this, in this expression, first of all, we calculate something with e variable, and only after that, plus 1 to e. Be careful. Okay. And special for of cycle that will be included in language in 2015 is for of. For of allow us to take keys or values from arrays. And let's see the example. We create a constant value of a list, and on each iteration in value, we can get the value of the array. Let's try. Sorry. Yeah, so you can see A, B, and C here. And it should work with also with regular object. Let's try. For example, list 2. Okay, let's try to get the values from object. Not work with object, sorry. Okay, that's all what I want to say you today. If you have question, 3 minutes, you can write it. Thank you. Yeah, I tried to explain with simple words, but if you have some more complex question, you can ask. Can you change characters in strings? It's a very interesting question. Let's try. Yeah, we have, because string in JavaScript is like array under the hood. I have access to slice function. Example, one. No, it's not so simple. Let's check slice function. Slice function get only 2 parameters. Okay. Let's split our string to regular array. Yes. Splice and use splice. It's not correct. No. It's not so simple. Let's check splice. Oh, I see. Little tip. Yeah, we have special methods in string. Is replace. Yeah, correct. And also we can use a regular expression. You know. String is immutable. Yeah, it's more than yes or not. Than not, because when we operate with strings, we operate only with values. And when we put one variable with string in another, we just copy strings. And all operation with strings are copied. Some operations Sharp can do it easier because of Unicode. I don't face with that. I don't know. Yeah, let's try with replace, for example. So replace can get regex, regular expression, or some string, and put new strings. Good. Yeah, it works. Thank you. Thank you, but I cannot write your name. I put you on my heart. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, let's finish our lecture. Thank you for all. Have a nice